Hey friends, it's Rosalind. Welcome back to our gardens and our tiny farm where I share simple old-fashioned ways to grow a beautiful, productive garden and homestead. So excited to share some of the bulbs with you that just arrived, and we are going to be potting them up today because probably in another month or so we're going to be planting them out in the new border that we started creating on the left side of the pathway in the back cut flower garden. That border I want to fill completely with just bulbs and probably some summer annuals. The new border that we are creating, I'm going to be calling it the bulb border because I want it to be filled with blooming bulbs all season long. We are planting 2 roses and 2 hydrangeas in there. Otherwise, it'll just be filled with bulbs and summer annuals. So this border, we started creating it just last fall. So it doesn't have anything in there yet except for the bulbs that we planted in there last fall and 1 rose that we transplanted in there. But here is some of the bulbs that just arrived. Oh, I was so excited because, if you haven't heard of this dahlia, it is so pretty. It's called rhubarb and custard dahlia. It's like a collarette dahlia. Last December, I noticed that a few companies have these dahlias available. I was so excited, and I thought, you know what, I probably have until at least first part of January to get them ordered. And I noticed that all of the bulb companies had sold out on these tubers. So I was quite desperate, and I found one company that still had them available. So I quickly ordered them, and I think a week later they were sold out as well. These are from Cavan, is it Beauregondien? I'm not sure how you pronounce the last part of this company's name, but I have ordered from them quite often. I really enjoy their bulbs. And we're also going to be potting up this lily. It's called Beverly Dreams. It's a trumpet lily. I think it was late February when I planted up these Oriental Stargazer lilies. And look at this. They are poking through. So I thought we are just going to pot up these lilies as well. And then probably within 4 to 6 weeks, they'll be poking out like this and they'll be ready to be transplanted out into the border. But this Beverly Dreams trumpet lily is going out behind the picket fence. We have 1 trumpet lily, kind of similar to the Beverly Dreams planted on the left side, but these are going to be going on the right side of the picket fence. Another thing that I would love to do with you guys today, if possible, it's just started raining, so we'll kind of have to see how the weather holds out. But I would love to add just a whole bunch of spring flowers to the front porch and in front of the garage because this is south facing. It's a very protected area, so I think these flowers would all be okay. We are in the very first days of April. So we have some very pretty pansies. Found this English daisy for half price at Lowe's because it's kind of starting to fade, but it still has some buds down there. And I found this one. I thought it was so pretty and unique. I had never heard of this perennial before, but it's a spring blooming perennial. It has this grass-like texture and these pretty pink flowers. So I thought this would be fun to use out on the porch somewhere. We have a primrose, which here in northern Indiana, growing zone 5B/6A, they're a perennial, so we can use it on the porch until it's done blooming and then plant it out into the landscape. And some more pretty pansies. All of the dahlia tubers are looking very good. They all have little growth points. Do you see that growth point? So I always save my nursery containers when I buy something at the garden center. So that's what we're going to be using today. I put about 2 inches of soil at the bottom, and then we are just going to lay our dahlia tubers in there. Dahlias need to be planted about 2 inches deep. Okay, this might not be deep enough. Okay, we'll go like this. So we'll plant this about 2 inches deep. We have our dahlias planted, so now we're going to plant our trumpet lily bulbs. These look kind of interesting, but you can see the roots are at the bottom, and it says to plant these, I don't know if you can see that, it says 6 inches deep, and the bulbs want to be 9 to 12 inches apart. So we are just going to plant one bulb per container. I think these are probably close to 6 inches deep. We'll just put a little soil in the bottom and plant a bulb into each container. Since it's raining right now, we are just going to pot up some of the planters in here, and then once it quits raining, we are just going to take the pansies out, put them in the planters right in front of the garage, and set these sweet little planters around. I thought these would be very pretty in this blue planter. What do you think? And maybe the primrose in this planter. We'll just get everything potted up, and hopefully it'll stop raining real soon. The dahlia tubers and trumpet lilies that we planted today are just in here in this garage window. The greenhouse, if it dips below freezing at night, it goes down to freezing in the greenhouse as well, and we really don't want our dahlia tubers to freeze. Well, friends, it's a new day. It rained all night, all evening, all night, and into this morning. We got probably around 4 inches of rain, which I'm not complaining about, but it's finally quit raining. And last night we went to my mom and dad's house and they were trimming up their willow tree. So I helped myself to some of the branches. We're going to add some into the planters. We're going to try and root some and also arrange some in a basket up on the porch. We're going to plant some pansies. And hopefully by the time that we are finished, it'll just look like a splash of spring along the front of the house. I'm just taking some root boost and going to add some into this container because these branches are wet. They've been sitting outside all night. I don't really want to dip them straight into the bottle of powder. I did have the branches just sitting in water. You see that the bottoms are wet. We're just going to dip it right into this root powder and place it into our container. After we're done planting the pansies and everything and we're done decorating the porch, we're going to set these out into the greenhouse. Hopefully if we add these branches in here, it'll add a little bit of height and drama to the container, since it does look a little small right here, but it's the biggest container that I had that actually looked okay on top of this stand. We are done for today. It has started raining again. So each of these planters in front of the garage have 12 pansies planted underneath. I know it doesn't look like much right now, but give it like 2 or 3 weeks and these will flush out, fill in, and it'll be very pretty. So I just kind of did a repeat of lavenders, purples, pinks, and whites to kind of draw everything together. And I'm going to be doing that with all of the spring planters, even in the back garden. I thought it turned out very sweet. It's a very simple arrangement, but the willow branches brought a lot of height and drama to this whole arrangement where it just kind of sat down and now it kind of lifts your eyes up. But it has the saxifrage, the Lenten rose, and pansies in there. And down below we just have our simple planter of pink flowers and the pink primrose over here with a simple wreath on the door. In just a second, we're going to take these willow cuttings out into the greenhouse. But as we go up onto the porch, this is my winter sown lysianthus. They're doing very well. So hopefully that continues. I'll keep you guys updated as we head on into later spring. But up here, it's the same repeat to kind of draw everything together. White English daisies, some pansies in pinks, or whites and purples, I should say. And this is actually a bird's nest that I took out of the tree this past winter and had used it as Christmas decor. Now we're using it as spring decor, and just a simple rug that we picked up earlier today. And I thought these willow branches turned out so sweet in the basket. Just added in a little bit of moss, and they are all sitting in soil, so maybe these will take root as well. I guess we'll see. But the catkins are starting to bud, and soon they'll be blooming. It'll be very pretty. And then just another simple pansy planter. We have our willow cuttings set in the greenhouse, but I did want to mention the curtains because a lot of you helped me choose the curtains for these doors. So last week I was trying to decide between lacy curtains, which only came to about here, or these swag curtains. And I think the majority of the vote was for the lacy curtains, and that was my favorite too, but I had to cut them in half because I only had one panel, so I could have, a panel for each door. And when I did that, it almost felt too small. And I really didn't like how it looked after I cut it in half. So I went with the swags and I thought, you know what, this is an exact door that my grandma used to have in her farmhouse kitchen. And she had curtains like this. So it really warmed my heart when I hung up these two. And so that is what we are going with for now. Just a little peek at this table because, oh my goodness, the hyacinth smells so good. We have our English daisies back there that we planted last week, and the dahlia seedlings are looking so good. But down below, we have some more hyacinths and tulips that have yet to bloom, and this is all ranunculus. I'm hoping to have those at our flower stand later this spring. Next week, I hope to get some pansies planted around the back, especially in front of the greenhouse in the tulip planters. I think that would be sweet to have the tulips underplanted with pansies, and hopefully we'll get around to getting all the pea gravel laid around the greenhouse. We did start mulching around the borders of the garden, so hopefully we'll have all of that finished. My hope, friends, is always that you leave our garden feeling rejuvenated and inspired, and it just brings a little bit of peace to your day. Have an amazing week, and I will see you right back here real soon. Bye.